everybody, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Debbie. This is my crafty den and I want a lighthouse. So I've been seeing lighthouses all over Pinterest, on Facebook. As a brand new maritimer in just the last couple of years, for some reason I've just been focused on lighthouses. And I've decided that I'm going to make a lighthouse out of these pots. These are all from Dollarama. I'm going to make these, I'm going to turn this into a rocky outcropping with a lighthouse sitting on top of it using the terracotta pots, a handful of seashells, and these rocks, all from Dollarama. Everything's from Dollarama except my glue. Even my light for the top of my lighthouse is from Dollarama. The first thing I am going to do is put this together, and I want to use, I'm going to use hot glue, but I am going to use my Surebonder heat gun with the heavy duty. Now this is a hot glue gun, something like a contractor would use, and I am going to use it along with some E6000. So I'm going to start by stacking these, and I think I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to take, this is going to be my rocky outcropping. Let me see if I can show that to you. So this is the big, wide, flat one. Like, yeah. So I'm going to just tip it upside down. That's going to be my base. And then I'm going to start with these. So you can use whatever sized pots you want. You may not want the whole base. Mine is for a patio table to sit outside, so I want it to look like a complete piece because I won't be taking it in and staging it. So I'm going to do this, and I'm just taking graduating pots. When I get up to this one, I'm going to put that on top, I think. And then I'm going to use this small 4-inch drain plate here. It's a drip plate to catch the water that flows through your pots. I'm going to use this on top of here like this. So this will be my little, I don't know what they call it, but like a catwalk on top of there. And then I'm going to put my light right on top like this. So you can't even get it all in the screen, but that's how I'm going to do it. Let me see if I can turn you a little wee bit. That's basically it, guys. So I don't have enough room in here to get far enough back, but you'll see the whole thing when it's completed as well as the process. So I am going to start, let's take this all down. I'm going to start by gluing this together. I'm going to start by putting E6000 around the rim of this pot. Now I could probably get away with just the hot glue because this is Surebonder, and it is a really hot glue. It takes a lot to melt it, but I don't know how it will handle the cold. So this will, if I do decide I want to leave this out in a porch or something throughout the winter, then I don't have to worry about it falling apart because I'm using E6000 and hot glue. This is the method that I use when I'm gluing glass pieces together as well. So I know it works for that. So I'm hoping it'll work for this. So I'm just going to put a tad there and a tad there because I just need to hold it for a minute. And then I'm going to try to figure out where the center is on this. I'm going to turn it and get it centered as much as I can. You only have a second to do this. So there. There. That should work. Now these ones shouldn't be as hard to find the center because they actually fit over top of each other. and they're a pretty good tight fit. So where this hits this is where I want it to glue. So this rim is where I am going to put my E6000. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these pots together, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is glued together, pretty sturdy. And once the hot glue is holding it for now, but once that E6000 dries, this is going to be a permanent bond, especially because the terracotta pots are porous, so they're really going to grab that glue. So in my little, it's just a lid, so in my little lid, I have a mixture of white paint and some decoupage glue. I'm using Mod Podge, but any decoupage glue will work. And I am going to give this all completely one coat of this. This will work as a primer so that, and it'll seal this. The decoupage glue will seal this and make it waterproof so that I can paint over top of the whole thing, and it should be a pretty good bond. So I am going to paint the bottom of this, the big base pot. I'm going to paint it gray, and that's simply because I think when I put the stones on, if this is painted gray, then it won't show through as much, and it'll look like the stones are a pile of rock. I don't have any gray paint, so I'm just going to put a little bit of black and a little bit of white, and I'm going to mix that up, and that's what I'm going to paint this with. I'm just looking at my rocks here and wondering about the color. So let's add some cinnamon brown to this. There, that's more of a brownish gray, and I think that'll be a better color. So I'm going to do everything from this pot down. So this is basically the color of mud, which is a good color to put on the ground. An alternative to the rocks as well. Like, I'm going to hot glue rocks to this, but as an alternative to the rocks, you could take a sponge brush right now and take some black and some gray and some brown and just stipple all over this and kind of get a rock base look for this. While this bottom is drying, I am going to put some of my bright red. It's just called bright red. It's the Crafters acrylic, and these are all from Dollarama. And I am going to paint the bands around my lighthouse. Okay, so I've got my pots all painted. I painted the inside of this top rim that I put on there, and my bands on the pots, that's just the lip at the top of each pot. I mean, of course, they're upside down. And now I'm in the process of adding rocks. So let's see if I can get you where you can see that well. So what I'm using to add my rocks is my Surebonder high temp glue gun. This takes the big sticks, the fat chunky sticks of high temp glue. So, and if this gets hot enough, it'll actually start to smoke. So if you see it smoking, don't worry about it. That's just what happens. So I've been working my way around the pot. So all I've been doing is taking my hot glue gun, grabbing a rock, and I start with my larger ones, put a good sized dollop of hot glue on the top, and I started by going around the bottom first. Now, any of the rocks that I have that are broken so that there's kind of a semi-flat edge to them, I've been putting those with the flat edge at the bottom. And take another rock, put a dollop of glue, and fill in a space. So that's it. That's just all I've been doing. It's so easy. So I've got my rocks mostly where I want them, but there's some spaces where the bigger rocks didn't quite fit together. So I'm just going to take a smaller rock like this. I'll just look around until I find one that kind of fits. There's a little square piece, and I'll just put some glue on the end of that and stick it in the hole like that. There's a little hole there I want to fill in. So I've taken a shell and I just added a shell on the front here. I just wanted to see what it would look like, and I think it's cute. So this is what it looks like finished. I painted around the outside at the top of the little solar light that I glued on the top. I painted that red because I thought it looked funny being silver. It just didn't fit. And this is for outdoor use. That's why I put the little lantern at the top, a little solar lantern. So I have painted the inside of the catwalk. I think that's what it's called. I'm not exactly sure. It's like the balcony that goes around the top of the lighthouse. And I put a little door in there. And I put windows going down, and I kind of spiraled the windows around the outside. So it sits on top of all of these rocks, giving it a nice base. And just for an added little touch, when I was gluing the rocks on, I glued in that shell and another one by the door that's just leaning against the wall there, but they are glued on. So this is really heavy. So this is going to withstand the high winds that we get here in the Maritimes. I have been really surprised since I lived here how windy it actually is. I do love it because there's a breeze all the time. But yeah, this is not going to blow over in the garden. You don't have to be worried about this toppling over at all. This is 9 inches wide and 18 inches tall. So it's got a base that's half its height, which is going to make it even, more solid. So I really do hope you enjoyed it. If you like it, make yourself one. These are really cute, guys, and it was fun to make. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.